guys, I'm your financial analyst Tenny. Today we'll be talking about Airbnb, a roaring rental platform that holds the growth opportunity of an era. I'm sure you're familiar with the company already. It's a short-term rental platform created based on the concept of sharing economy. Its IPO price was $68 and once had almost reached $200 in just 1 month. We believe it's a company that will become the monopoly OTA platform for the next generation. You might have lots of questions, such as, is it worth investing? What are the company's competitive advantages to support such high valuation? And when to hold or when to buy? And I'm here to answer all that questions, to give you a professional point of view and help you to earn money in this fierce stock market. First of all, to understand the company, we have to look at the rental market, especially the supply and demand. This brings me to my first point. Airbnb holds high growth potential because the demand for housing is substantially stronger than the supply of housing. Airbnb seems like it has many listings and housing resources, but it's not the case. Let's take New York as an example. Only 52% of Airbnb stays are listed as an entire house, while most of the listings are only available for a short period of time rather than throughout the year. If we look at the data, only 51% of the New York Airbnb stays are available for more than 2 months every year. Therefore, the actual Airbnb listings are much fewer than reported on the news. Travelers always have to book in advance due to room shortage, with an average of 15 to 30 days, which is much longer than the hotels, where travelers tend to book 1 to 5 days in advance on average. The scarcity of rooms pushed the users to plan in advance, and this is the main indicator of supply shortage. While supply is always not enough, demand is growing steadily for the platform. Airbnb requires very little sales and marketing costs to attract search volume. About 91% of the searches are organic for the platform, and this number seems to be growing. In the long term, we can expect almost all of Airbnb searches to be organic as the brand gets larger and spreads through the word of mouth. Airbnb customers are mostly millennials and Gen Z, who are very comfortable with the internet and who we call the internet generation. They tend to be very sticky customers. By 2019, returning customers showed up to be 70% of the overall users and are still steadily growing. There are 2 main reasons for the internet generation to like Airbnb. Firstly, is the great travel experience they enjoy. With surveys, we found out that the internet generation seeks for an adventurous experience and prefer living as the locals do. Secondly, the younger generation is inevitably poor, with the real estate pricing at a record high point and the fierce competition in our society. The internet generation have to constantly deal with a limited budget when travel. Airbnb is the only platform that solves both the problems. Not only does it provide low pricing, but it has linked travel with experience. The demand for Airbnb is expected to steadily increase as more internet generation adopts the platform for traveling. Now we know that the current growth limitation for the platform is not the demand, but the supply. Airbnb has a huge growth potential by increasing the listings, and as long as the demand exceeds supply, we can hold a positive view towards the revenue growth of the platform. Airbnb's competitors include online rental platforms like Expedia, Booking.com, Vrbo, etc. Meanwhile, B&B Rental itself competes with the hotels for market share. The overall TAM of the rental market is huge and estimated to be $27 trillion US. Considering that the current gross booking value of Airbnb is around $38 billion US, there appears to be a 75 times growth potential. Among all rental providers, hotels are the biggest competition for Airbnb. But if you look closely, the two are positioned quite differently and mainly from three aspects. First, Airbnb has more bookings in the suburban areas where there's less hotel coverage. Approximately 60% of the bookings of Airbnb are in suburban areas. Second, Airbnb is more suitable for long-term rentals, where hotels are good for short-term. We'll take Marriott as an example. After you reach 5 nights, it's cheaper to book Airbnb than hotels. The long-term rental has always been a trend on Airbnb and has gotten stronger after the pandemic. Long-term rental used to take up 15% of its total booking and have risen to 50% after the pandemic. Third, lastly, about half of Airbnb's users are millennials. On the other hand, the main customers of hotels are boomers and Gen X. The target user groups are very different. And to add on to that, not only do Airbnb and hotels position differently, but they also have collaboration opportunities. Hotel listings already exist on Airbnb platform and have become quite popular. On the platform, hotel has been ranked in the top 20 most popular listings in many cities. With a large quantity of organic traffic and cheaper pricing than other platforms, Airbnb is becoming a great partner for the hotels. Now we understand the relationship between hotels and Airbnbs, let's take a look at other OTA platforms. Currently, the only viable B&B rental competitor for Airbnb is Vrbo, a B&B short-term rental platform established in 1995 and acquired by Expedia in 2006. It started very early, however, it is much smaller in scale than Airbnb and only viable in the North American market. It's got a reasonable different positioning than Airbnb as well, where it targets large families, only allowing entire houses to be rented. For both positioning and scale, Vrbo is much less influential compared to Airbnb in the global market. Overall, we believe rivals should not be a big issue for Airbnb's future expansion as long as the company maintains its positioning and competitiveness, which requires lots of effort to put in. And it brings me to my third point, brand and leadership. Investors never overlook the ability of the management team as well as the brand equity. There are two aspects plays essential role in valuation. Airbnb's management team is described as the cockroaches during the financial crisis. To help you get to know the team better, let me tell you a short story first. Airbnb was founded in 2008 during the financial crisis. It was the most difficult time for all startups to raise funds, including Airbnb. At one point, Airbnb was drained of funds and had no potential investor. Founder Brian Chesky came up with an idea. He led the team to sell cereal boxes for the 2008 election. In 2 months, 800 boxes of cereal worth $4 were sold at the price of $40 each, providing 30,000 funds for the company, which attracted investor Paul Graham from Y Combinator to invest in Airbnb at an early stage. Paul Graham decided that if the team can convince people to pay $40 for a box of cereal, then they may be able to convince people to stay in other people's homes. Calling the team cockroach was the best compliment he gave during those harsh times. And to think about it, Airbnb not only lasted through the 2008 financial crisis, The team had also survived during the 2020 pandemic, when the natural disease brought an end to many rental providers globally. Airbnb stayed and came up strong, using the pandemic as an opportunity to expand online services and explore the possibility of long-term rentals. The stock price during the pandemic has also grown over 100%. The ability to survive and expand the business is an essential quality for a good management team. In addition to that, Airbnb has established a strong brand image throughout the past years. Now people naturally associate the brand with leisure traveling and great experience. The intangible value is hard to estimate. People already generate a large amount of organic searches, which take up 90% of the overall search. In the future, we believe Airbnb will be a company like Google, where everyone will know and reach almost 100% of organic search. These 3 points have summarized my main investment thesis. We published a full-length report on the topic with more details and more data. The report is over 50 pages long and includes everything you need to know about Airbnb. I'll link it down below. Because this report is all free, don't forget to subscribe and download right now. If you like my videos and have stocks that you wish me to cover, please give me a thumb up and leave a comment down below. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.